For this video, we're getting into a little more complex coding, and we're going to use if-then statements. So like always, the first thing you want to do is click on New Project to open up a new screen, and then the first thing we want to do is title it. So we're going to call this one Smile. And for this one, we're going to use the forever loop again. But the first block of code that we want to put inside of the forever loop is underneath the logic folder. So we're going to click on logic and then grab the if true then else block and put that inside the forever loop. Okay. So not only are we going to incorporate the if then statements, but we're also going to incorporate inputs. Inputs are the buttons that you see over here on the digital microbit. You have an A button, you have a B button, and then you have an A and B button when you press both A and B buttons at the same time. Okay? So looking at this if-then statement, understand that if-thens are this has to happen in order for this to happen. So an example of an if-then statement is if it snows 2 feet tonight, we will not have school tomorrow. Or if I don't get my homework done, then my teacher will be mad. Or if I don't get my homework done, then there will be consequences. Something like that. Those are some examples of if-then statements. Okay? So in order for if to be true, we want to go to the input folder and we want to grab on button A is pressed. So right now, if you look at this code, it says if button A is pressed, then do whatever you put down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the basic folder and we're going to grab a show LEDs block and put that in the then section of the if then statement. And I'm just going to create a simple smiley face. And with the show LEDs blocks, if you just click on these squares, it turns the LED lights on. If you click on the squares again, it turns the LED lights off. Okay? So right there, I have my smiley face. But if you notice over here on my digital microbit, nothing is happening. That's because I haven't clicked button A yet. If you look at the code, it says if button A is pressed, then show the smiley face. So if I go over here to press button A, there's my smiley face. That's right, some oohs and ahs are justified right there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on. And I'm going to click on the plus sign down here underneath else because I want to create another else if block or another else if section of this if then statement. Okay, why? Because I have a B button as well. So I want to create another if then statement that says if button B is pressed, then show me a sad face. So again, I'm going to go to input, grab my button A is pressed block, and put that in the if true section of the second if then statement. Now notice it still says button A is pressed, so I need to make sure I click on that drop down arrow next to the letter A and select B. And I can simply go back to the basic, grab a show LEDs block, and I can put in a frowny face or a sad face. Okay, so just like before, if I click on button A, there's my happy face, and I have to press on button B in order for my sad face to show. Okay, so now I have my happy face and my sad face. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and click on the plus sign down here one more time because I want to create another if then or else if then statement for the A and B button pressed option. Okay. Now one thing I want you to notice real quick here first is at the very bottom I have else here. I'm not going to need that section of this if then statement, so I can click on this minus sign and it'll take that section away. Now just like for the other two buttons, I can go back to input, select another button A is pressed and put it in here, but I don't want to drag my mouse all the way back over here, so I'm going to go ahead and come up to the button B press section, click on button B pressed, push Command C if you're on a Mac, or push Control C if you're on a PC, and then push Command V to paste it, or Control V, and I'm going to drag that block and put it here for the if true section on that last if then statement, and switch it from B to A plus B. Now as you notice there, I clicked on the button B is pressed, block and push Command C or Control C and then Control V or Command V, depending on if you're a PC or Mac. But I can also right click on that and duplicate it. That is another way to copy and paste essentially this block. Okay. And then for the show LED, or the show LEDs part of the A plus B button, I'm going to pick a random face. Now I can go to basic, do a show LEDs and make a random face myself, but I decided I'm going to grab this show icon and put that down here in the if then statement of that A plus B block or section. And I'm going to click on that drop down arrow, and then I'm going to pick any one of these icons to use. As you can see, there's a giraffe, there is a sword, there's a ghost. I like this face right here actually. It's called the meh face. Okay, so now I have selected the meh face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press A. There's my smiley face. I'm going to press B. There's my sad face or my frowny face. Now notice, since I don't have two mouse icons obviously, an A plus B button has shown up here on my digital microbit. Now when I press that, what should happen is I should see my meh face. But I click on it and I see my happy face. A button, happy face. B button, sad face. A plus B should be my meh face. But when I click on it, it shows me my happy face. Now truthfully, I've kind of done this on purpose because I want you to think about why this is occurring. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video and leave it here at this point with this issue that's going on with our code. And I want you to brainstorm and think about why this is occurring. Tune in for the next video to find out the answer.